Good morning. This morning I'd like to talk about a well-known story in the Bible about the three kings who followed a star to find Jesus. Most of this story actually comes from Christian tradition because the Bible refers to these men as magi and they don't actually give a number. So I don't know how many there were. Tradition calls them wise men and kings. But what we do know is that they come from the east. And they visited Jesus when he was quite young. And they presented gifts of gold, frankincense and myrrh. Tradition also applies some significance to the nature of these gifts. But today I'm going to talk about two kings who were visited by foreigners. One king was Herod, and his interest was in power and what he could do to retain and keep that power. The other king is Jesus, who was born in a stable in a little backwater called Bethlehem and is seen as quite weak and vulnerable. Men and or women visited from the east, because the Bible doesn't mention gender either, to come and worship a new king born to the Jews and present him with gifts. Two very different kings. It said, Herod is a worldly king. He focuses on keeping his power and will be shown to go to great lengths to keep a hold of that power. Herod was a king who ruled with fear because he also had the power of life and death. If anyone or anything gets in his road, then they were terrorised or simply killed. But the visitors didn't come to see him. These visitors from the east did come and see a small, helpless child, said hello, presented their gifts and went happily on their way back home to the east, after first avoiding telling Herod anything. My question would be, why? Why would someone leave their safe and comfortable home in the east and travel to a very dangerous place ruled by a ruthless King Herod just to see a child that they didn't even know? There's no doubt they were on a mission and they were given signs to show them the right way. But the question still remains, why? The visitors from the east not only dropped in for a little visit and dropped off some gifts, they actually bowed down and worshipped the child. The worship is reserved for God because we don't worship other people, not even powerful people. I've met people before, though, who worship other people and things like money, but worship in the Bible is reserved for God alone. Exodus chapter 20 verse 3 says, "You shall have no other gods before me." So these visitors from a foreign country had come to a Jewish state to worship God because any other reason would be sacrilege and dangerous. They can't worship a child. The significance of all this for us today is God works in mysterious ways. Now, I'm sure you've all heard that term before. First of all, God was known to a foreign country with quite different culture and beliefs. To the people of Bethlehem, the Magi must have been seen as very unusual and probably a little bit strange. But they knew about the one who was born King of the Jews when none of the others around them did. They left treasures of gold behind. But Jesus was never rich because his power was not in riches. The visitors from the east found something far more valuable than anything they had seen before, because when they saw Jesus, they bowed down and worshipped him. So we're all of us, aren't we, still looking for something today. Maybe it's power. And when we get it, we try to keep it. Maybe it's money. And we try to get more of it. Maybe it's happiness. And we strive to be constantly happy. Maybe it's just to feel comfortable. We struggle like mad to keep the peace. Maybe it's to feel popular and we focus on impressing others. Maybe we should be just like the visitors from the east, on a journey of spirituality, looking for the thing that is far more valuable than anything we've ever seen before. Something that could drag us out of our comfort zones and our powerful and rich positions. Something that could take us to a whole different place until we too are ready to bow down and worship He who is King of Kings. So many people live where God is and don't even recognise Him. So many people live in their own little worlds and never come to see the one who came to save us all. These visitors from the east were traditionally called wise men because they understood and knew about something greater and more significant than what other people have seen and knew about. We can also be wise and follow the star that shines on the Christ child. We can also follow the path He has given us. Wise enough to know that God is here, and also wise enough to bow down and worship Him. Thank you for listening to me today. Have a blessed week. Thank you.